Hi, I'm Monique from Flourish Yoga, and today we're going to be doing a beautiful slow flow, and it's kind of a reflective flow for the end of the year 2021. Or you might like to just take a time to reflect on the week you've had or the month if you're doing this at another time. Today, if you use blocks normally, just have them handy, and you might also like to have a bolster handy, or if you don't have a bolster, you can just use a few cushions. So when you're ready, let's get started. We're going to start in wide child's pose. So big toes together, knees apart. You can have a block under your forehead if your head can't reach the ground. And just stretching your arms out in front of you. Just really taking a moment to settle into this position. Inhaling and exhaling through your nose. And before we begin this practice, let's just take a moment to reflect on the year that you've had. I want you to think of 3 things, or you can think of more, that you are grateful for. It can be so easy to focus on what went wrong or what didn't happen in the year. So just take this time to think about things that you are grateful happened. They don't have to be big, they can be small. Lifting your head up slightly, we're going to thread the right arm under the left palm facing up, and then resting your head, the right side of your head on the mat, for a gentle child's pose twist. Focusing on your breath here and just letting that draw your attention inwards. Letting go of other thoughts in your mind. When they pop up, just bring your attention back to your breath. Lifting your head, unthread that right arm, stretch it out, and then thread the left arm under the right, palm face up, left side of your face, rest gently on the mat. Lifting your head, unthread the left arm, stretch it out in front of you, spreading your fingers, curl your toes, and start to lift your hips up for downward facing dog. It is the first one of this flow, so you can have a bend in your knees. We really want to be broadening our shoulders and having a long spine. If it feels good for you, you might like to just pedal your heels. Bring whatever movement feels good to your body. Inhale, come up onto your toes. Exhale, sink your heels down as far as feels comfortable for you. We're going to lift that right leg up. So draw it into our chest, and then we're planting it outside the right hand. Lowering that left knee down, coming into lizard pose. So this is where you might want to have a bolster, pillows, or blocks to lean on to help support you in the pose here. So just remembering to listen to your body and doing whatever feels best for you. You might like to come down onto your forearms and just making sure that that right knee is hugging your right shoulder. When you're ready, coming up onto your hands or removing your block or bolster if you're using one. Come onto your left toes, take your right hand to the outside of the right foot, and then we're going to edge the right foot over towards the left, coming into pigeon pose. So if pigeon pose is a bit too challenging for you, you can come into deer pose. So that's where you bring that back leg in and you can stay up, or you can come down leaning on a bolster or blocks or hands. So just choosing what modification works best for you. If you're in your pigeon pose, just making sure that back leg is nice and long. Again, you might like to have a bolster here to rest on, or you can come and rest your forehead on your hands. Just remembering to have your front toes flexed to help protect your knee. Slowly bringing yourself up. And then we're going to turn our hips to the front, coming onto our buttocks, keeping that right leg bent in, the right sole of the foot to the left inner thigh. We're going to do a gentle side bend here, so it's not about how deep you go, as I'll be holding it for a little while. So you might like to rest your left hand on your leg or on the ground, whatever feels good for you. Then inhale, sweeping the right arm up and just making sure that that chest is open and rolling back. Inhale, lowering the right arm down. Then we're going to bend the left leg in. Soles of the feet come together for butterfly pose. So the further your feet are away from your body, the easier it is. So finding whatever feels best for you. You can take a hold of your ankles or your feet. And if you'd like, you can come forward for a forward fold. Slowly coming up. Then we're going to extend the right leg out, the left sole of your foot to the inner right thigh, coming for that beautiful side bend again. So just finding whatever feels best for you. So hand on the ground, hand on your leg, reaching that left arm up, keeping that chest open. Inhale, lowering that left arm down. We're going to plant the hands at the back of the mat, taking that right toes, planting down, and then we're going to lift the left leg up, coming into our pigeon pose or the deer pose. So bending that right leg in for that 90-degree angle. So whatever you did on the other side, just repeating. Again, you can lean on a bolster here, or you can come all the way down onto your hands. Checking that those front toes are flexed. Slowly bringing your head up, planting your hands here. Curl those back toes, then to lift the left leg again and plant it outside the left hand for lizard pose. So lowering that right knee back down and choosing whatever modification works for you. Checking that that left knee is hugging that left shoulder. And keeping that beautiful cycle of breath. Just focusing on it. I know sometimes it can be a bit challenging holding poses for longer than you're used to. If you're on your forearms, coming up to your hands or removing any blocks or bolsters, we're going to curl those back toes, spread your fingers, lift that left leg up and coming back to downward facing dog. So again, you can have your knees bent here, just taking for that beautiful long spine, ribs knitting in. Coming onto your toes, bend your knees, look to your hands, and walking your feet outside of your hands. Coming into yogi squat. So bringing your hands to your heart in prayer pose, lengthening that spine. If you want, you can place a block underneath your buttocks to support you here. Lowering the right fingertips down to the floor, just the edge of your mat, reaching that left arm up to the sky just for a gentle twist. Keeping that spine beautiful and long. Bringing those hands back to your heart, prayer pose. Taking those left fingertips to the edge of the mat, reaching that right arm up, looking up to the right. Bringing your hands back to your heart in prayer pose. Just taking one more breath here. Taking your hands behind you, lowering your buttocks down, planting your feet hip width apart, and coming all the way down onto your back. I've done a lot of forward folds here, or leaning forward. So we're just going to finish before our final resting pose with a bridge pose. So you might like to make this a bit more restorative and to pop a block underneath your buttocks / your back. So planting your hands, checking that your feet are hip width apart, lifting your hips up, powering through your feet. So this way you can slide a block under or a bolster, or you can clasp your hands together, come a little higher on your shoulders. Just making sure that your knees aren't splaying out to the side. Just releasing your hands or removing the block or bolster. Slowly lower each vertebrae down. Bring your knees into your chest, hug them. You might like to rock side to side. Then coming into reclined butterfly pose. So the soles of your feet together, knees out to the side. And just getting comfortable here. You might like to rest your left hand on your chest and your right hand on your belly. And just bring your attention to the rise and fall of your chest as you breathe, and your belly. As we come to the end of our practice today, you might like to take another moment to think of some more things that you're grateful for this year in 2021. Another bit of a crazy year. You can stay here for as long as your body needs. Otherwise, stretch your arms over your head, rolling onto your side. Pausing here for a moment. And then working your way up to a comfortable seated position. Hands resting on your knees. And we're just going to take a cleansing breath here. So we're going to inhale and then exhale through our mouth. And just letting go of anything that we're holding on to in this year. So inhaling, sigh it out. You might like to do another one. Inhale, sigh it out. Inhale, bring your hands overhead, palms together, to your forehead for purity of thought, to your lips for clarity of speech, and to your heart for kindness of heart. Thank you so much for flowing with me today. I hope that you're just feeling beautifully calm and refreshed as the craziness of the year comes to an end. And just remember to always look for those moments, no matter how big or small, that bring you happiness. And just remember all that you can be grateful for.